and then it turns red really quick. It had been taking a while for that to show up previously.
It's not showing up on mine.
Well, there's a little bit of a delay before you see it. There it's coming through. Do you have it coming through now?
Yes, it's there.
Well, I think we are live now, Rick.
Oh, dear.
So hello, everybody. Hello, chat room.
Hello, chat room from me as well.
So let me start out with getting this right, because I'm a little bit OCD with liking to pronounce things correctly. Leicester.
Lester.
Leicester.
Yeah, it's simply pronounced Lester.
Oh, just Leicester.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't have the town name in front of me. Spell it for me.
L-E-I.
Yeah.
C-E-S.
Yeah.
T-E-R.
Okay, so just Leicester. C in the middle is silent.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an easy pronunciation.
It took Carey a while to get used to it, believe me.
Leicester. All right. And that's England. So something else I've got in mind for my development of my channel here, I'm about to upgrade my computer number 2 because it doesn't run instant house call very well. It works fine with Log Me and Rescue, but it struggles with instant house call. Well, that's a very old computer and a slow computer. And maybe we'll get into how old and slow it is. But I like computers living their life full and well. But the other thing that I've got in mind there is then to put Google Earth on it. So when somebody comes into a session like this, I can punch in Leicester, England, and we see where you're at.
I've got Google Earth on this one.
Well, maybe we'll show it on your screen then. Okay, so let's say hello to chat. Same Goat, hi. You're Rick Hubbard, Atex, and Sam. Sam Van Thiel, hello everybody. Welcome. And whoever else is in chat that hasn't typed something, I don't see your name until you type something. And we've got a question here today that we're going to deal with from Rick Hubbard. And let's see. You know what? Let me point it out this way. If I go to this camera, if you're looking at the, if you're watching the video and you scroll down into the description area, you'll see the question that Rick sent. You can actually read it through to you. To yourself. So he says, hello, Mr. Betts. Sorry to bother you. No bother at all. But I am curious as to whether it would be worth upgrading the system on this computer to a socket 1200 motherboard and Intel i5 to match. You know what? I could punch over to here. Let's do this. Actually show it to you this way, and you've got me and Rick down in the bottom right corner.
Yeah.
The motherboard on this could then replace the 1150 on my other desktop with an older i5 and DDR3 RAM. Both have 16 gigabytes RAM, and to be honest, for my usage, it's hard to see any difference between the two systems. I would only need to replace the motherboard, CPU, RAM, and nvme. A new activation for Windows would also be needed for the new motherboard, as the old motherboard would take everything on it to the other case. Both cases are Corsair Carbide R100 Silent Edition that Carey hates. And I often tease him about it as he loves the 200R. I sometimes play Last Chaos and Perfect World International on both desktops and 2 laptops with no problem, just on CPU graphics, so I never needed a GPU at any time over the last 15 years. Both systems I built myself, and the only oddball thing I still do is partition the main drive, Put main programs on C drive and minor programs and data on the other partition D drive. Would it be possible to take a look at my systems and advise me as to if it's worth it? All right. So let's come back to the Zoom meeting and let's talk about when is it worth it to upgrade a computer? And I'd like to take this question a little bit broader than your case. So, because I get this question sometimes from clients in business offices. I might get this question from neighbors or relatives, and so I go through a process. Okay, is your current computer causing you pain?
Not at all.
Not at all for you. So pain. What pain might a computer be causing? It's malfunctioning, in which case we could fix that computer or replace it.
Yeah.
So the choice of fixing it or replace it, you got to delve into some other questions as to whether it's worth fixing it, because that's the question that comes up then. Now, some of you have seen my recent videos with Tracy's computer.
Oh, that
Is
looks
it worth
a nightmare, that does.
Is it worth fixing, or should it just be replaced? Well, actually, both of those questions can be answered with yes. It would be easy to fix it if I would have just wipe and load, nuke and pave. Just reformat the hard drive and reinstall Windows from scratch. That would have been no big deal. But then I have to reinstall all of her programs and transfer her data over, and the cost of a new computer for her is really not very big. Guess what this is right here?
Tracy's computer.
That's Tracy's new computer.
Oh.
Yeah, we bit the bullet and we're replacing it. However, what that gives me the ability to do is we're going to replace her computer with a new computer. She'll be very happy with that. But then guess what happens to her old computer?
Taken into a field with a double-barrel shotgun and blow the hell out of it.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. What drives me, Rick? I'm hoping. What do you know about me already? What drives me? I want to learn. I want to learn. So I'm going to bring that computer back in here and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to dig deeper to find out what is wrong with it. Now, I don't mean fix it, then I'm going to just nuke and pave and reformat it. I want to figure out what is that cryptographic services malfunction. I'm not asking what cryptographic services is. I've got that answered. That has to be there. But it's clearly malfunctioning. And what is a good surgical way that I can fix that? And part of the reason why I like doing that is because I find more troubleshooting and diagnostic methods. I was hesitating there because I didn't want to say tools. I don't like using third-party tools. I want to figure out within the Windows operating system, how do I fix it?
Well, you see, that's the difference between you and me, because you're a Windows expert. I'm not. If it's broken, throw it out, replace it.
Yep.
And I've done that many times over the years.
Okay, so we started talking about how do you decide when it's time to upgrade. And I started with, does it cause you pain? And that's all we've talked about so far. Does it cause you pain? Okay, so the next one. Would a new computer provide you more pleasure? The next thing.
I don't know really, because as I say, the other one's got an 1150 socket with DDR3 RAM on it. And I had a lot of trouble when I first built it, using the older parts, just to compare it to the 1151 with an NVMe on it. And as I say, for my usage, I use it for watching like BBC iPlayer or YouTube videos. I don't watch many music videos or movies on it because they're all on this one, on the main one. But, watching BBC iPlayer, YouTube videos, No difference whatsoever.
No difference between the two computers that you have,
No. And
and no deficiency.
there must be, what, 7 or 8 years between the two.
Yeah, you know what? That is a great point, because this is a point that I would hold to, is that a computer's chronological age has absolutely nothing to do with whether it needs to be replaced or whether it is adequate for any particular individual's purposes. So you have a fairly new computer there sitting next to an 8-year-old computer, and there's really no difference in performance for the things that you do.
That's correct.
Fair?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have no reason or predisposition to replace a computer just because of its chronological age. One of my, I don't know if this is a nightmare, but I don't think I could call this a nightmare because I'm really pretty comfortable with this concept. But let's suppose one of my clients decides to interview another computer services provider because they're questioning whether I'm really giving them the value that they want in their computers. And so somebody comes in from another computer consulting firm and they get a tour around the office, look at the computers, and they wind up saying, my gosh, these computers are ancient. Why are you using these old computers? And they say, well, they work fine for us, but they're old, huh? And he says, yeah, you got to replace those. And so a person could come in and basically denigrate me for not keeping that client up to date without me having any chance to reply or respond. And if the question came to me, why haven't I led them into upgrading their computers? The answer would be because they don't have any pain with the computers that they have, and the new computers would not give them any better productivity. So there's no business reason to do it.
I think the only reason that would drive me to actually do it is that when I take the old 1150 motherboard and SSD out, I'd put it in another case and give that one to charity. I've built about 5 so far and given them away. So that would really be the only driving force that would make me do it.
Rick, does doing that give you pleasure?
It has done, yes. Plus,
Yeah.
I enjoy building computers.
Right. So I was coming to that next. We went on the basis there's a causing pain would it provide you pleasure. But then look into further about the pleasure. Do you want the technological experience of going through that? Would you enjoy doing that?
Well, I mean, basically, it wouldn't be much of an advance in technical knowledge, would it? Because all you're doing
No.
is replacing the motherboard, the CPU, the NVMe drive, and the RAM.
Which is all stuff that you basically know how to do, and it would just be kind of doing it again.
Yeah.
But then having a computer that you could give away, you find that fulfilling or pleasurable in some way.
I wouldn't say pleasurable. Because I know there's a lot of people in this country, like in a lot of other countries, where a lot of people haven't got the money or the time or the facilities to get a desktop computer.
Sure.
So if I can pass one their way, I mean, so be it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this would be the last one if I did it, put it that way. I mean, I've upgraded laptops for people with SSDs and upgraded the RAM and stuff like that. But let's say the 5 desktops that I've built so far, they've all gone to good homes, deserving homes. So one more wouldn't go amiss, put it that way, and that would be the final one.
Uh-huh.
But it's whether I want to go and spend the money to do it.
Right. Right. So I don't see how I could possibly answer that question for you. You said, is it worth it? Well, the value in doing it appears to me from what you said, the value in doing it just appears to me that you would have at this point in time another computer to give away.
Yeah.
That's really all there is
That's really all there
there.
is to it.
Yeah. So I can't, that's a personal judgment call. And so I could connect to your computer and we could just, for entertainment's sake and showing the chat room and whoever else watches this video what you have in your computers, and you can talk about your build and how you're using it and such, but none of that is going to serve to answer the question
Well,
as
just
to
tell
whether
me
you
what
should
I
do
have
it.
to put in the internet then.
I missed that. Say that again.
I say, just tell me what I have to put in into Google to get to do
Oh,
it.
sure. So we can connect to you. Hey, let's consider this. Are we going to connect me to both of your computers?
Well, you can if you want, but do the one that I'm thinking of replacing first.
Yeah, we'll do that. What I was just thinking there is I might do one of your computers using Log Me and Rescue and the other computer using Instant House Call. So that gives me an opportunity in one video to show both of them. And I'll talk you through both of them. It's no
I
big
was
deal.
going to say I wouldn't know where to start.
No, I'll talk you through it. It's no big deal.
Christ, the only time I'd ever made a Zoom call before was to you a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, and that's worth mentioning because so a couple weeks ago you came in on a Zoom session while I was doing a live stream with Tim, and I think you did that 2 days in a row, or was it Greg?
It was Greg.
It was Greg. Didn't you do? I think you did that 2 days in a row.
I believe so, yes.
So that would have been two.
So that would have been two, so this is number 3.
So this is number 3 experience with Zoom, and before these sessions, you haven't done a Zoom at all.
And I'm still
So let's go. Let me catch up in the chat here. Oh, let's see. We had Sam. Hello, Atex. Can't wait to see that video. He must be referring to the one with Tracy and fixing that issue or figuring it out. And then Sam, I never use third-party tools to fix Windows issues. I'm right there with you, Sam. I learned so much more without using third-party tools. And Philip says, hello. Hi, Philip. And Sam, as I hear from Rick, for the things that he does with it, I don't think it's needed to do something with it, referring to upgrading. And then Sam also, however, it's always a good thing to do an upgrade for preventing any compatibility issues you may have in the future. And it is faster than the current one, even if you notice it or not. Okay, so Sam, I guess, likes it to be technically faster, whether you're feeling any benefit from that or not. And Sam, I'm going to say I'm not with you on that one. I'll be with you on about the third-party tools, but no, I'll stay with an older computer if there's no difference in my utilization or pleasure or its benefit for me. So let me ask you another question before we go into this, Rick. There was a piece in your description. I'm going to bring that back up on screen again. Scroll down here. That intrigued me. You were talking about, let's see, upgrading the system on this computer to a socket 1200 motherboard and Intel 5 to match. The motherboard on this computer could then replace the 1150 on my other desktop with older i5 and DDR. I don't see in this description what motherboard and CPU is in your current computer that you're proposing to move.
Right. The motherboard in this computer is a socket 1151 with a 500 gig NVMe, you know, one of those chewing gum drives, which I'm going to put, well, basically all I need to do is strip out the socket 1151, the 1150 motherboard, put the 1200 in that, and then just swap the cases over. It'd be a lot simpler. leave this one in its present case and just switch the two cases over.
Yeah, I think that was going to be my next question. So the computer that you were proposing to move the motherboard from computer A to computer B, and then replace the motherboard and CPU in this one, why not just leave this one as is and replace the motherboard and CPU and so on in the second computer?
Yeah.
So that you're only working with one case.
Yeah, but I'd still be working with two cases because there's two additional SSDs in this computer that would also move across to the other case. But that's only a 2-minute job.
Yeah, you could move the SSDs without the motherboard in the current computer. I was scratching my head. Why move that to a different case? It's the same model case, and move the parts. Leave that one where it is, and do the majority of the work on computer number 2.
Yeah.
Just seems to be a more direct way to do it. Okay, so that's all I wanted to hit there, I think. So let's get me connected to your computer. So go to the website logmein123.com. It's best if you actually type that in the address bar and not do a search for it.
Let's get the right mouse. What was it?
logmein123.com.
In 123.com. Support connection. Enter your 6-digit code.
Yeah. So I'll click a button here to get you a 6-digit code. It's 267984. It's a one-time code, so you don't need to hold on to that.
Start download.
Yep.
Open. Computer age consulting. Okay. Yes. Waiting for technician.
So there's a ding on my side, which tells me I can click this close button, then come up here and right click and click start. And then click on launch remote control session.
I wonder if I could see it. Oh, there it is.
Okay, do you see the mouse moving on your screen?
Yep. I can put
Okay,
that,
we are there.
I can put that keyboard back underneath out the way then.
Okay. So then we can close this. And there we go. Rick's desktop. Boy, this looks pretty familiar to me. In the sense that a lot of the same icons that I'll have. Let's go look at your system tray. We got Skype and Intel driver support. Then the Intel graphics and your network and your Windows Defender, your speaker, and on Audio Manager, and OneDrive. And then we've got IBM Security Truster Rapport and Samsung Magician. Wonderful. And let's take a look. Where else are we going to poke around and
poke around wherever you want.
Get nosy. We'll just explore Rick's computer here. If somebody's got something they want to see in particular in the chat, you can tell me what you want me to go look at. So right click on this PC and then properties. We'll get a very basic. Looking at the chat, I see Alan Barsness. Hello from Manitoba. Hi, Alan. And then Sam is making the comment, nice and clean. I assume he's referring to your desktop, nice and clean. So here we got an i5, a generation 4, 3.2 gigahertz, 16 gigabytes of RAM. And with this lower gigabyte usable, that's a clue right now that you do not have a dedicated graphics card. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's using the CPU graphics, and that only
Okay.
uses a tiny bit.
And we're using Windows 10 Home, and you're on 20H2, so you didn't have any trouble with the upgrade to 20H2, right?
No problems at all.
And we even see that you did that on March 3rd, 2021. Okay, let's go look at perfmon. Windows key R, perfmon, that's performance monitor. Now I could do it with a /report. In fact, I think I will, because I'm kind of curious to see if your experience is the same as mine. Used to be that this would do a 60-second collecting of data and then go into performance monitor. But it seems to be broken these days. Let's bring up your clock here and see that we're at, well, let's assume that I started that about 20 seconds after the minute. So we'll wait for 20 seconds after the next minute. And my forecast says that this will not terminate. It will not stop itself because this aspect of performance monitor seems to be broken. But still, performance monitor, you can go into it and run the performance monitor from within the program, and that seems to terminate after the 60 seconds the way it's supposed to. But either way, we're going to be able to see the report, and the report is going to quickly bring our attention to any problems that the computer has. So this is a performance monitor is built into the Windows operating system. It's been around for a long time, and I don't see many people use it for diagnostics purposes, but it's a pretty easy way to get a quick look into what's going on. So we're well past the minute now. It has not stopped itself. So what we do here is I'm going to get rid of that clock and then click on the X in the upper right corner, and that'll make that window just go away. Then I'm going to go back, Windows key R, and do perfmon without the /report. So that's extra labor to go into it that way. So what I've been doing lately, I just go into perfmon and then go into reports. Expand this section on reports and then expand system. Now actually I should point out here is you may find troubles just on this landing page of the program. But then we come down here into, I believe it's system diagnostics, that's where it is. So this right here is the report. And let's see, if I go back up here, I can point out that report shows the current date. It does not. Oh, it does. But you have the British display of the date with that threw me with the day first, and then the month, and then the year.
It's only America that does everything backwards.
That's right. That's right. We're the ones that are backwards. You were first. So I could double click there to open the report, or I could single left click over here, which gives us the report, and then we'll maximize this. So this shows us several tests that were performed, telling us that they all passed. If there was anything in here that did not pass, you could drill down into that area to see more information. Even if you just want to go look at more information, even though it passed, you can see the information that was discovered in here. CPU at idle is showing 19% utilization. Well, it's not truly idle, is it? Because we have log me and rescue running. and showing what's happening with your disk space. And then in each of these sections, you can drill down farther and find a whole bunch more information. So there's just a whole slew of information down here. Now let's go look at what it tells us about disk. Hot files, disk breakdown, NTFS, performance. And I'm kind of clicking around at random now. I'm not really aiming for anything in here, just kind of showing what this tool that comes with Windows. It's just a quick, easy way to walk up to any computer that you might be having somebody ask you about, asking your help with, or you're not familiar with, or even your own computers. It's just a quick way to check on health. So then I'm going to close that, and we'll come into another tool that comes along with Windows that I use often, and that's Windows key R MS Info 32. And press enter, and this gets us a lot of information about the computer. So the system name, the Windows 10 home, the version, the build number. Now this doesn't give us, this isn't showing us the 20H2 here. It's just giving us the build number. Does it show? It doesn't even show 20H2 anywhere in there. So let's do this also. Windows key R, and we'll just display WinVer on the screen at the same time to see the 20H2. And this build number I've always found, well, it's not always, but most of the editions, the 19 is just one digit below the most significant number of the version numbers. So the 2004 and the 20H2 has a 19 at the beginning of this number. And then the same thing with the 1903 and 1909, they had 18 in this position. We got a gigabyte motherboard model number. Do you confirm that that's the model number of the motherboard?
Yeah.
Okay. Tells us about the CPU and tells us about your BIOS and the BIOS date. And it's a UEFI BIOS, gigabyte again. So just lots of the basic information that we need for checking out a computer. It gives us the memory down here. And that there's a page file, but that's always going to happen as long as you have virtual memory turned on. So then we can drill down into hardware resources, see more information. We can go into components. We can go into software. So just a whole wealth of information about a computer, and this is built into Windows. And then a common place that you would perhaps want to go look is storage and disks. This is where I go to see what is the storage that we have. So Samsung 860 EVO 250 gigabyte. This here, I wish they would fix that. Fixed hard disk implies that it's a spinning drive, and it's not. Anything else here I care about? Not really. I think you mentioned, do you have two partitions on this computer? I don't think so.
No, there's two SSDs on that one. There's a 250 for Windows and the main programs.
All right.
There's another SSD that's got all the photos, documents, and the rest of the gubbins on.
So here I brought up File Explorer. Right click on the C drive. We see how much space you have utilized.
It's about
on the C drive. And then on the D drive. What you're referring to is data and other programs. And then we'll go take a look at this PC and manage. And disk management. And this is a very quick, informative view of what you've going on. So we clearly see those two separate disks and what volumes you have on them. Looking back at chat, see what people are saying. What's good? Alan says hello. Sam, nice and clean. Atex Perfmon, nice tip. Very good. All right, so let's go take a look at Windows Update and programs installed. My favorite way to get to Windows Update, just because I turn to my attention to the keyboard a lot, is the Windows key, Update space S. That pretty reliably gets me to Update Settings. Usually Update Settings will show up at the top, but I find that the first time I type that, it might not give Update Settings right there. I'm just going to test this and demonstrate a little bit. If I do that again, my fingers are getting a little heavy there. Try that again. Windows key, Update space S. ETT, there's Update Settings. Now then I come back and try that again. Update space S. Looks like I'm getting a little bit of a delay when I'm trying a second round, so hit a Windows key again. Update space S. Does it now give me settings? No, it doesn't, but it eventually will. If it becomes, it seems that when Windows 10 learns that I like going into that, it starts offering that to me. So the last checked for updates is today, 1:31 p.m. local time in England. And then view update history, see how that's been going. Quality updates 20H2 on October 3rd. And here is the 2004 update. Was done on March 3rd, 2021. Wait a minute. Installed October 3rd, 2021. Rick, you didn't tell us this. You're from the future. You're several months you're living several months in the future, aren't you?
No.
It says you installed this on October 3rd, 2021. In my part of the world, it's only April.
It's the 10th of March, 2021 in England.
Oh, it's backwards. It's backwards. I fell for it.
You did.
I fell for it. Seriously, I did not catch that until you pointed it out. I wondered how long I could have gone down that rabbit hole. Oy.
Love it.
I think there were some other screens I was mentioning dates that I was probably looking at them backwards too. Okay, that was totally fun. Okay, so here there's, if we go to Uninstall Updates, we can see it from the program view. Now, oftentimes, if I want to go into this view to have a different look, I'll actually go into Windows key R and then type appwiz.cpl. When the disadvantage there is that gets me into the actual listing of programs, then I have to click on a link in the upper left-hand area of that screen. That'll bring me to this screen. Now, this screen lays it out differently, and I find sometimes it to be more useful to be looking through here, particularly when I get into an instance of wanting to uninstall an update. And I have seen some things that just didn't seem to correspond correctly between these two screens. So here we have these quality updates section showing these three updates. Where are they in here? Well, they're mixed in with this category of of Windows updates. So it's broken down into two different categories. Now let me see if I can stack these windows side by side. Before I do this, are you aware of this technique, Rick, for stacking these two screens side by side?
No, sir.
So I'm not sure it's going to work because these are Windows configuration screens, and I've found that this method doesn't always work, but for programs, this works pretty well, where I hold down the Windows key and press the right arrow key. And whatever window is active at the moment should then pop into the right half of the screen. Now I'm still holding down the Windows key. Now I'm going to let go of the Windows key, and what should happen then is all the other open windows should show up as thumbnails on the left side of the screen so that I can click on any one of those windows. I'm clicking left mouse button now, and it now takes up the left half of the screen. So it's a rather sweet tool for stacking two windows side by side if you're wanting to be looking at both of them at the same time. And then I'm going to see if I can close up this version column. I'm going to click on that window to make it active. And there's the double-headed arrow. I'm going to scrunch this down because I'm not interested in that column. And it's not scrunching down any further. So I'm going to remove the check mark for the version column. I'm doing a right click on the column heading and then remove the check mark for the one that I'm not interested in. So this now shows me those dates. Now actually I'm kind of just exploring here, and I'm truly exploring on my own curiosity too. I've never really looked at this very closely, but the people that we have in the chat room and that will likely watch this video, I think these kind of might be interesting topics. So this KB 5802, totally inaccurate way to say that number. What is it, like 5 million? Yeah, 802. But KB 5000802. Some people in the chat room might recognize what is special about that update. Do you know what's special about that update, Rick?
Didn't it screw up some people's printers or something?
It did.
Caused blue screens.
It did. That's the one that screwed up people's computers, caused blue screens if they had certain printers. The problem only occurred when they actually tried to print to that. So that update is shown over here. There it is. And then this one, whoops, I didn't mean to click on that. It's actually taking us into a web page to show about that. 4580325. 4580325. I don't see that number, but there's this one right here that maybe it's displayed under that. Now these three dots right here, that ellipsis, it's indicating that we're not seeing the entire width of that name. Well, here's another thing I like to do when dealing with this, is if I come up here, you might already know that I can hold down the left mouse button and drag that to the right. But another method is double click right there, and it should adjust that column to be the width of the largest item that is in that column. So it's a quick, easy way to get the column to the width that you need it. And 4580325, that's not it. So where is that one? This is an update for Adobe Flash Player. So here's Adobe Reader up here. It's not that one. See, this is the thing that I kind of was interested in getting a handle on, is that these two screens do not correlate one for one. This one, 402.3057, 402.3057, it's not there. Now, let's consider this. Here's this one, security update for Adobe Flash Player for Windows 10. Here's 2 for Adobe Flash Player. Could it be this one? Could this be this. This one was installed May 11th. I got it. I did it right. Right?
Clever lad.
May 11th.
Yeah.
And if that's this one, that does not say May 11th. So this is just something that I have found frustrating, that the update listings on these two screens just don't seem to be accurate or correct. Let's see, that's Sam is saying no, that's 7 days later. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Sam. I'm thinking it might be one of my date confusions. And then he also says, I believe the Adobe Flash Player updates removes Adobe Flash from the computer. Well, that certainly could be. And that's this one. Whoops, I clicked on that again. That certainly could be. And there was a security update here for Adobe Flash on May 11th. And prior to that, on March 3rd, there was a removal for Adobe Flash. So that's enough of going down that rabbit hole, probably. I'll point out a few things that I find useful in there and a few things that I find frustrating in there. All right, let's do a right click on your system tray and go to Task Manager. And you have never gone into the More Details button on Task Manager on this computer. Is that correct?
The only time I go into it is often when I restart. The taskbar is permanently on, and I have to scan all the way down it to, I forget what it's called, but it's a yellow thing, and you restart it to hide the taskbar again. I think it's Windows Explorer.
Oh, you have your taskbar set up to auto hide.
Yeah.
So you're saying when it's failing to auto hide, that's when you have used
Task Manager.
Task Manager. So, but what I was intending to point out here is right click on the taskbar and then choose Task Manager. Most often, I'm interested in going into More Details. Well, once you go into More Details once, it seems that sticks. So if you come back here again, right click and choose Task Manager, it goes straight into this More Details. And if you click on Fewer Details, then you get back to this level. Now I close that and then go in, should get back to that Fewer Details configuration. So it's kind of a toggle switch. Once you're in this mode, it sticks in this mode. Then I'll point out another alternative for this. I'm going to close Task Manager, and instead of right-clicking on the taskbar, I'll hold down the Control key on the keyboard, and is it Control-Shift-Escape or just Control-Escape? Yeah, Control-Shift-Escape to go straight into Task Manager. Then I'm looking at what's going on with the numbers here. Do we have anything misbehaving? I'm going to go ahead and see if I can. Yeah, I'm going to hit the maximize button. So I'm interested to see if there's anything showing in red over here that is using high power. If I've got high numbers on any of these, I'll click on the column headings to sort them in descending order. This down arrow tells us that it's in descending order. So these change position a lot as they're taking different amounts of CPU. Can do the same thing with memory. So now we have the arrow in the memory column. Can do the same thing on disk and network and graphics processor to be able to try to diagnose what is going wrong. If we can click on the name column to put them in name order so they're not bouncing around as much, we can expand any of these arrows to see what the sub items are. we can go into performance and see graphs for what's going on for the different aspects of the computer. And I also commonly will go into resource monitor down here at the bottom left corner if I'm trying to diagnose an issue, or sometimes a operation is taking a really long time. I want to know if the computer is locked up, so I can come in here and see if there's some kind of activity happening, and that tells me no, the computer's not locked up. It's just taking a really long time for whatever is being worked on right now. Okay, glancing back to chat, see if there's any questions or comments, and nope, nothing new coming up. So let's consider your other computer, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Now, my computer number 2, and I'm going to just show this here. Here's my computer number 2. It's a low-end computer. I guess I should show that. I've said that a few times. This is my streaming computer. My low-end computer just performed really poorly for Tim's when I tried to connect Tim's computer. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and try it with your computer, because when I use my streaming computer to connect with Instant House Call, I lose the capability of monitoring what's going on with my streaming computer. So let's just go ahead and test that. Let me come back to my computer number 2. This area right here is Rick's computer. I'm moving my mouse around the perimeter of Rick's computer. This title bar at the top is my Log Me and Rescue program, and the taskbar down at the bottom is my taskbar for my computer number 2. Now up here on the title bar, I can click full screen. That'll make Rick's computer go full screen, and it's still not filling up the entire boundary. So I can come up to my control bar for Log Me and Rescue and choose this option called Stretch to Window. So now he fills the screen very nicely. His background image is a little pixelated, and that is Log Me and Rescue automatically selecting a level of resolution that is working. And so then I'm going to bring it back down to medium size and go ahead and show you my slow old computer using some of the same methods. So I'm on File Explorer on my taskbar. I'll left click, scroll down to Lenovo-1. It's just the name of the computer. Right click and choose Properties. Okay, Windows 10 Pro. It's an Intel Pentium J2900, 2.41 gigahertz, 8 gigabytes. So I defy you to say what gen this computer is. It's not an I anything. It's prior to that. And let's see, what else am I going to go to? Let's come over here to right click on the C drive. Choose Properties. I've got a 352 gigabyte. I think that's actually a spinning drive. So let's go into, let's see, did I get that on the right computer? Yeah, I did. That's my Windows Explorer. So if I go to, let's do MS Info. So Windows key R, MS Info 32. I watch videos with this. I watch Netflix with it. I use all my Microsoft Office 365 products. I use OneNote with tons of different files open at the same time. I have many tabs open on Google Chrome. The computer runs fine. Let's see what I want to do here. I want to come over to components. Yeah, storage, disks, and see that this is some twist of Seagate model 500. So yeah, it's a spinning disk. The boot time isn't great, but I rarely ever boot it. I leave it on all the time. So now let's see what I can do with instant house call on this computer. Let's see. You know what? Every time I go to do this, I'm going to Windows key D to minimize everything that's open. And here's specialist sign in. That's the way to do it. I'm going to double click on that. And that opens specialist sign in. Now I am going to lighten up the load a little bit on this computer by I'll right click on Google Chrome on my taskbar and close window to close all of that. And then I'll come over to this Google Chrome in the taskbar and right click on it and choose exit. And I'll right click on this Java update and cancel that. Why is that even there? I'm going to quit this mirroring 360, which I use to display my cell phone through YouTube videos. I'll right click on Meet Now. All I can do with that is hide it. And then I'll right click on OneDrive and I'm going to pause updates on it because it's currently doing updates whenever it feels the need. So I'll pause that for 2 hours. So that lightens the load on this computer. So Rick, what I need you to do on your other computer is type in the web address LWT, which is for Live Windows Training, period, instanthouseCall.com. I'm seeing we got 11 concurrent viewers. It's possible some of those viewers came in after we made the conclusion as to whether it's worthwhile for Rick to do an upgrade on his computer. And so you haven't heard that whole discussion. You'll need to go back and replay the video when we're done to see the conclusion there. And we're approaching 1 hour. Have you got to something there, Rick? Oh, let's see. I haven't put in my password yet. Let's go. I gotta go figure out what that password is. Got you there. So I've got that password stored in LastPass. Ironically, this is one of the areas. What I got going on? Oh, vidIQ, get out of here. This is kind of one of the little bit frustrating things. There are some things that LastPass and other password managers just won't do for you. And since this instant house call sign-in is not within a web browser, it doesn't enter that for me. So I'm using my computer number 3 to find out what that password is. Ah, yes.
Yeah, what do I type in Google?
Rather than in Google, it's better if you click in the address bar and type LWT period instanthouseCall.com.
Instant call remote software. Oh, Microsoft Bing. All right.
Sounds like you got search results.
Yeah, instant house call remote support software for.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work for you because you need the LWT at the beginning. So I'm going to, let's see, I'll bring my remote connection to your computer, your first computer back up, and then I'll type right here in your search field
I did.
LWT period instanthouseCall.com. This is what you need to type in the address bar of your browser. Because if you get search results, you're just going to get search results for Instant House Call. That's not going to get the LWT period at the beginning of that. LWT stands for Live Windows Training. So that's how Instant House Call knows that you're trying to connect with me.
Ah, yes, download.
Yep. So when you went to that address, you got a button for download.
Yeah. And it's downloading it.
And a Windows key D for me to minimize everything that is open on that computer.
Open file. Instant House Call, yes. Start session.
I'm sure you've heard Carey Holzman talking about Instant House Call, also Mike Smith. So all you've done so far is you did the lwt.instanthouseCall.com and you got some prompts, and now this pops up on my screen and I click accept. Now, I didn't do anything to send out an invitation to you. You type that in, and you could do that even if I'm not at my computer.
Oh, crikey.
But I have to click on something on my end for me to connect. So this was fewer clicks for us to get connected. Do you see the mouse moving on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay. And that actually connected pretty quickly. I'm pleased with that. So up here I've got this header that says Live Windows Training-DougBetts. I don't think you see this on your screen.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do? Are you seeing it in the YouTube video, or do you actually see it on your screen?
No, it's on this computer.
Okay,
and
so this...
And I see it on YouTube as well.
Okay, so I'm going to click to hide that, and that should go away. So that goes away for you and for me, right?
Yep.
Okay. So then this window right here with this title bar is Rick's computer. The rest of what we see around the border is my computer. I can maximize by clicking the maximize button up here. So now I'm only seeing Rick's computer. And if I minimize this browser window that Rick has open, this is where I see the sluggishness, because that browser window is still open. Now it went away. Now I see your wallpaper. That looks pretty clear. That looks pretty clean. That doesn't look very pixelated.
It looks very disorientated there now.
It looks disoriented to you?
Yeah. It was 2 rows and a couple of odd ones, but now it's all jumbled up.
Jumbled up. So are you not seeing your desktop screen properly?
Not as it was before we did this.
Okay. Well, I think this is speaking to the struggles that my computer number 2 has with Instant House Call. Now, I don't, at the moment, it kind of looks okay. I'm going to click on your start button. Did your start menu open up?
Yep.
All right. That's kind of okay. I'm single left click on one of the icons on your desktop and using my arrow keys on the keyboard to arrow around. There's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, the icons will probably still work, but just all out of order.
Oh, they've changed order on your desktop? Because you had them all neatly aligned, I suppose?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. This connection from Instant House Call may have done something to resort. That doesn't make sense. Here's a sort by option. But see, all of this is going really sluggish. Now, keep in mind that my computer number 2 still has the log me and rescue connection to your first computer. So I'm going to go close that. I'm going to bring your computer number 2 back down to medium size. Then switch over to your computer number 1. Oh, it has the same background, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
my computers do. That's where I used to work in Holland.
Oh. So then I'm going to end that connection. Then I'm going to go into my log me and rescue program and end the connection to your computer and close the program. And my computer is being very responsive, doing all that. Now I single click on one of your icons and it's still sluggish, arrowing around. Okay, so let's try this. Let's try this. Can I? All right, I'm going to try. I have the instant house call connection to Rick's computer number 2 here. I'm going to try to bring that up on my streaming computer and see how the performance is. So I'll go to my desktop on my streaming computer and try to launch Instant House Call. I'm currently signed in a different location. We started the process to sign that user out. You can sign in when the process completes. Estimated time to complete 8 minutes? Yeah, that's too long. Can I sign out there without dropping the connection? Okay. So I'm clicking on my instant house call icon in the system tray and clicking sign out and end session. I'm hoping Rick's computer will stay connected to that session.
Well, it just says your remote support session has ended.
How does it?
And my icons have gone back to 2 nice little rows.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. It's gone back to the way it's supposed to be. So what I want you to do is go back again to browse to the address LWT dot instanthousecall.com. So now I'm going to sign in to Instant House Call. You're signed in as a specialist.
Download again.
Okay. Now this is a little challenging. To get this displaying right on the video, on the YouTube video.
Open file.
Okay. I think I have it right now.
Start session.
That is, and accept incoming connection. So now, do you see the mouse moving on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So then I'm going to click to make this little rectangle box go away, and then minimize this. And that gets me to Lenovo 2. Why am I seeing that? No, that's... Oh, that's say it thinks you're connected to Lenovo 3, but you're not. That... Why am I seeing that computer on there? Something's not right.
Well, I've got 2 remote support portal tabs open.
You have 2 remotes showing on your computer?
Yes. What's the other one? They're both,
Let's see.
They're both identical.
Can you point to the 2 with your mouse?
1, 2.
I'm not seeing your mouse at all.
2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Yeah, that's not... Oh, I'm not seeing your mouse at all. I think I need to click a settings choice over here so that we can see each other's... Yeah, show remote cursor button is a settings change. Do you see the mouse moving on your screen?
No.
No? Okay, go ahead and move your mouse around.
1, 2. 1, 2. 1,
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Okay, so if but this is... Somehow when you connect it to my instant house call, it's actually showing my computer number 3 on my screen, like I'm connected to my computer number 3.
I don't know.
This is just weird. Totally weird. Here says Rick. Okay, here, let me see if I can minimize this.
You're obviously connected because my icons have all gone skew whiff again.
Oh, they've been messed up again? Okay, do you see the mouse moving on your screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so that is working. I want to get rid of this Lenovo 3. Somehow I've got a connection to my 3rd computer that I didn't ask for. So I'm ending that session. Now I'm at your screen. So your screen, am I showing this on the video okay? Yes, I am. Your screen looks much nicer, much clearer to me now. It's not as pixelated. And now I'll single left click on one of your desktop icons, and I want to see if I can arrow around more responsively. And no, this is not any faster. That's fascinating. Let's launch your Google Chrome. I'm beginning to think that my computer number 2 wasn't doing as bad as I thought it was.
On YouTube, it's showing as a black screen now.
Yeah, I see it as a black screen. Did your Google Chrome come up?
Yes.
Yes? Well, I'm seeing a black screen. So this is from my streaming computer, so that's still not working. Okay, I'm going to end that session from my streaming computer, and I'm just turning to look at stream health. I've been really putting a lot of demands on my streaming computer. Yeah, it's saying stream health excellent. In the chat room, is video and audio been going okay over the last few minutes? And let's see, I see Sam saying, Doug, that's your own computer that you're connected to. You're right, but I don't understand how I got connected to that computer because I didn't command that.
Shall we try again?
Yeah.
LWT.
I'm going to do it from my computer number 2, and we'll pursue a little bit further. Now let's see. So I'm going to sign out of Instant House Call on my streaming computer. And its CPU and GPU numbers look good. I should have looked when I had the connections live. So then I'll go to Specialist Sign In on my computer number 2. Sam says everything is fine. I see 11 viewers with us right now. And
Hello,
then
people.
it was get back to.
Shall I click start session?
Are you on Instant House Call?
Yep.
Did you went to LWT? I'm not at the point yet to do that. You can click start session on your side. Yes.
DougBetts is not available.
Yeah, just stay there for a minute. That just means that I'm not signed in on my side yet. I'm looking up that password again because I don't have that committed to memory yet. Oh, hello, kitty cat.
Hello, Tiggies. Hello.
Here, I got you back on the full Zoom. Show us your cat. What's his name?
Tiggy.
Kiki.
Tiggy.
Tiggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet cat. All right, so now I'm going back to here. Does it still say that I'm not available?
There you go.
Here we go. I'll click accept.
What do you want? Eh? What do you want?
All right, so I'm connected to your second computer now, and this is through Instant House Call. And I'm minimizing your browser.
Go on, down you go. Good boy.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent image, and your icons are not lined up nice and neat the way that you're accustomed to. I'm wondering if it actually changed the resolution. That might be what happened. Toggle screen scaling. There's repair options. Set payment. Chat. Save screenshot. Okay, so let me try Windows key R and then MS Info 32. And enter. There it came up. So what we have here on your second computer is an i5 8400 2.8 Asus 16 gigabyte. Let's come down to components, storage, disks. This is all responding just fine. Okay, so there's SSD. We can see that within the model name. Again, that says fixed hard disk misleading. But this isn't, I'm not recognizing what brand that is. Do you know what brand your SSD is? Oh, here
Yes,
says Samsung. Oh. Oh, you know what? Is this? No, I was going to ask if that's a controller. Oh, that's the other disk. That's your other. You have two disks. You have two storage devices. So this is.
I've got the 500 gig NVMe, which has got two partitions on it, and then there's two separate 2 terabyte SSDs.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta say the performance between my computer number 2 and my computer number 1, the performance difference with instant house call was not all that impressive. Okay, closing that. And then let's do Windows key R. It didn't give me a Windows key. It just gave me an R in the search field. Try that again. Windows key R. And perfmon. Enter. There it comes up. So then, let's see if I get to this right. Expand reports, expand system, expand diagnostics, but there's probably no reports in there yet. Right click on system diagnostics, new window from here. I think it's right click up here. I'm trying to remember where that initiating a new report is. I know I struggle with that every time I go in here. Oh, I bet the easiest way is one of these buttons. Show hide, up one level. Data collector set. There it is. Yeah, okay, so I gotta commit this to memory. Data collector sets, go to system, and then this system, what's that say, diagnostics? Yeah, yep. System diagnostics. Right click and start. If I got the right place there, it should give us that 60-second thing. There's a little timer right there. That little icon, is that what that is?
Yeah, I think so.
You don't have a window appearing on your screen that's counting down 60 seconds, do you?
Nope.
Latest report, start. There's a stop. option there, which implies it's running, but we're not seeing it run. Oh, here it is down here. The report's done. Yeah, it did the report without ever displaying that screen to us, showing it. So anyway, here's, if there's any troubles going on, they would show up in here. Very commonly, not all troubles will show up there. Well, I tell you what, Rick, I think we've been at this long enough. We're approaching an hour and a half. Do you have any other things you want to explore or discuss? Are we ready to wrap up here?
No, I'm happy. As I say,
Okay.
I'll have a think over the next few days and decide whether or not to upgrade the other one and put a socket 1200 in it. And take it from there. I'll let you know what I do.
Yeah, I'll be eager to hear. So the summary is that you don't really have a need to upgrade, but you're just interested in doing the upgrade, and it will give you another computer that you can give away.
There you go. You can see all the C and D are the NVMe, and then there's the 2 terabyte SSDs.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go ahead and put an end to today's session then, and look forward to having another session with you some other time.
By all means, thanks ever so much, Doug.
Thank you, and to the, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you just go ahead and say goodbye to the chat room. I'll do my standard outro after I click you off.
Good night, everybody, and thanks for watching, and you all take care. My best wishes and thoughts to you all.
All right. Have a great rest of your weekend, Rick. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, so that is the end of our session with Rick Hubbard and his contemplations about whether he should upgrade his computer or not. And if you missed the first part of the video, then you probably missed the reasoning and conclusion. You can go back and watch the video. So what I do on my channel, or the purpose of my channel existing, is that I want to be able to provide free computer support to people over Zoom sessions, just like I did with Rick, and connecting remotely to their computers for whatever issues you might have. If you're interested in requesting a session like that, send an email to me at this address that's on your screen right now, DougBetts@LiveWindowsTraining.com. Give me a little bit of explanation what you'd like help with. You don't have to go into big detail, and we'll put it together. So I hope this video has been useful to you. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.